you, but I'm just like telling you that you are making the wrong choice and you're making life harder for yourself. So I do really appreciate like the independence she's been giving me and that she has always given me, but there's this really core foundation of her that just does not accept certain things because, Eastern Europe and everything.
You're talking to someone who lives in Texas, born and raised Roman Catholic, and is married to a Southern Baptist. I understand. Conservative. I think the only way we could go further is, Orthodox Judaism here.
Fair enough.
So, no, I completely understand. And that's what resonated with me with the game was, I have a wife, I'm hetero, but I do have a number of, LGBTQ, whatever the community label is for how you want to describe it as a listener. I have a lot of friends who are in that area, and it is exactly the same thing I hear over here, and
yeah,
it's really, I guess the point of it is that you feel isolated and alone, but I love that someone from, yes, I'm in the Western world, but I'm an entire ocean apart, and at the time I thought you were entirely from Scotland, because I hadn't heard your voice yet, and a big view of Europe from American point of view until quite recently, until the last couple of years, has been that it's a much more liberal place. Things are more openly accepted and da-da-da-da-da. There's still issues, but, it's not quite like it is in the southern U.S., but it was a little bit of a, I can relate to this, that huge gulf of the Atlantic Ocean, American culture being only a couple hundred years old versus, Scotland and the UK being literally millennia old.
Yeah.
And it's the same experience, So
that's what definitely like pushed me towards making more autobiographical games because, as I mentioned before, like when I was making it, I thought that I would probably make a mistake. Like I wouldn't say things in the right way, and I would maybe like the way I would narrate it would be completely like illogical or whatever. But when I released it, so many people were able to empathize with it, and then just really made me realize that as long as I made games that were really honest, so someone would be able to relate to them.
Yeah, I think part of that honesty is the whole, I mean well attitude of the mother. She's not a bad guy. We all love our family, but very few of us have family that are truly just like, evil. They just want their children to line up with how they are, which I think is a fairly natural thing. But that aspect, I think that aspect of it really is what makes a difference, So.
Yeah, I also find it that sometimes you might be, I don't know, watching a movie or reading a book, and someone is describing a behavior that you dislike in parents or whatever, and you will immediately call out that behavior when it's in other people's lives or like in media and so on. But when it's your own family, it can be very hard to just notice how certain things are just very present, wrong, and that's something definitely that I want to continue exploring. This, like the idea of just family and how we relate to that, and how sometimes you're just so used to your family that you don't notice certain parts of them.
Yeah, you just kind of gloss over it because that's the way it's always been. It's routine almost. So families, it's complicated.
And that's the best way to put it.
Yeah. Alright, so I think I don't really want to go too much deeper into, LGBTQ issues, feminism and all that in the games, because when we were talking about it on the stream, the failed miserably stream a while ago, you say because of where you're from and, what I was asking about the Scotland scene and all that, you didn't really have a very broad perspective on it. But
yeah, I mean, I definitely noticed that both Belgium and Scotland are definitely way more progressive than Lithuania. I mean, they both are really advanced on those issues, and it's just it's just really wonderful to just be somewhere and just feel like no part of you is a problem or an issue or something that you have to like prove or like just
justify.
Just yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I've seen over here with the issue is everything has to be justified, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And unless of course you do something stupid as hell like the whole bathroom scandal over here, and that's just the helpy helper turns. Oh, we're gonna do this for you. Really? Because you just put a big old bullseye on my back. Thanks. I'm a prepubescent 13-year-old girl. I'm already confused enough, or boy, or whatever have you. And now I have people literally aiming guns at me in the bathroom. Thank you, America.
Yeah, that situation is just terrible.
Yeah, America, welcome to the shitstorm. Oh God, this year is a nightmare for us. Truly.
Oh yeah, 2016.
I mean, globally it sucked, but seriously, for America, I think we're all gonna wake up next year going, "Is this just a bad dream, a hangover?" Because yeah. But anyways, trying to get things a little bit happier. Let's see. I ate Christmas. What simulator was it again? The minimum wage simulator?
Yeah.
Okay. We covered that. We covered Flappy Chew somehow. That still one of because that was a game that really caught my eye that made me want to interview you. It's like you take two very obvious things and shove them in ways like how this is either be glorious or this can be a train wreck. I'm still undecided on which because of my noob gaming skills, quite honestly.
Flappy Chew was definitely a mixed opinion.
Have you thought about going back and maybe trying to balance it out a little bit?
I kind of like how broken it is because it's kind of like if I remember well, the Flappy Jam that happened in 2014 in February was like the first jam I participated in, and it kind of like kickstarted my whole game development like process because the next month I started one game a month, and yeah, I'm just very fond of it, and just being able to see it and see how I didn't know how to do anything and I could only like barely manage to get something working. That's just really inspiring to me. Like looking at the state I am now and before, so I don't really want to change it.
It is your I did this game. It is the one that says, yes, I can do this.
Yeah, most definitely. Because I was afraid of, again, like scaling upwards and making something huge or like not finishing anything. And I just decided, okay, I'm just going to take a template and just edit the art and just change a few things, and that would be it. And that would be enough for it to just be called a game.
Well, I mean, with 35 games under your belt, have you thought about trying a bigger project yet? I mean, maybe not like a huge game like, what I'm working on or Trevor, Shy Guy, is doing, but something bigger than just like a single game jam game?
Definitely. That's something I've been looking at quite recently. Mostly in terms of like collaboration also, because I'd be really interested in like working not alone on stuff and using people's different skills. So I'm sorting out a few projects that might get somewhere. And I have a visual novel kind of idea that I really like to explore, because visual novels, again, like they're easily scalable in the sense that if you write just a bit of text, you can implement that and it works. Or you could write a bit more text and it would work. Like it's not the same structure as developing a game. So I feel like I would be able to manage working on a visual novel that is a longer project way better than I would on a game with mechanics and so on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm working on that.
I think it'd be, just from what I've played with your stuff, that sounds like an amazing way for you to really start making, you have skills, point blank. But I think that would be a great way for you to really hone it and like really sharpen your voice. Would be those interactive novels.
The narrative, yeah.
Because, like I said, everything works together. Every part of your game design works, but that's really what shines through is the narrative, the voice of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you ever, I'll see getting you an invite into our little group on Discord. I may just wind up starting one just for, collaboration, stuff like that. People looking for collaborations. But, yeah, I wish you all the luck with that, and let me know. Keep me updated on it, and when you get something close to release, maybe we'll have you back on here. So.
Yeah, that would be awesome, yeah. That's great.
Now that we actually have a good take after 4 or 5 takes in an hour and a half.
We did a lot of nice chatting about different subjects, so I don't think that it was a waste of time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being so patient with me today. But yeah, everybody, this has been. Do you have anything else to throw out there that you want to promote, plug, say?
Yeah, sure. I can just mention the fact that I don't just make games. Yeah, I do have a lot of games, but I do have like a SoundCloud that I post on from time to time. I do some graphic design, so yeah, I feel like it's way more interesting when you look at a creator from like all their sides, even though games already like show different sides of a person. So yeah, just check that out too. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Send me that the link to that, and I will be sure to put it in the description. So.
Awesome.
But I guess that wraps it up. This has been interview number 4 with Vaida. How do you say your last name?
Plankyte.
Plankyte. I'm gonna mangle that. No matter how many times I try to say it, I'm gonna mangle it.
No worries.
Anyways, thank you for listening, everybody. This has been a great show this time. Thank you, Vaida, very much for being on. And
thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right, everybody, take it easy, and we'll see y'all next week.